My name's Simon Burras. I'm the Managing Director of Applied Industrial Systems Ltd in London, and we're a Siemens WinCC OA system integrator. We first used WinCC OA seriously on the project that I'm going to talk about today, so that dates back to about 2014-15. London Underground run metro-style railways, and the latest development is the Elizabeth line, or it was called, the project itself was called Crossrail because literally it goes across London. It introduced 8 new stations onto the line. Some were shared and some were new, and our project was to develop the tunnel ventilation control system. I think the challenge, and challenges indeed, of the solution was to find an architecture that could meet BS 61508 SIL 2 and give us the same distribution that we needed, because the system is distributed across 18 shafts whereby we control the fans. So it was an architecture and a safety. It was a combined challenge of the two. So a lot of discussion with Siemens. In fact, we teamed with Siemens on the contract. It was very much a teaming relationship between Siemens and AIS, both at the design level and at the implementation. We were able to use WinCC OA down at the shaft level, so that we could basically control the modes of each shaft, the ventilation modes of each shaft locally with WinCC OA, and they were linked to PLCs for the actual interfaces into the plant. And then we were able to have the dual WinCC OA redundant server at the top end in the regional control centre, and also a backup server as well in a separate location for basically reliability and resilience. The input-output count is probably something like 8,000 to 9,000. Sorry, I don't remember any longer the detail of it. There is a lot of sensors built into the actual physical field equipment, which is fans and actuators. But also a lot of the equipment has intelligent interfaces as well, whereby you can pick up additional data. So we extensively use variable speed drives, and they're very high-powered variable speed drives. And because of such high power, it's really important that we're able to actually pull out the data, the diagnostic data from the variable speed drive. And that's sort of like probably added to the I/O something like 20,000–30,000 of data items, if you like, that we deal with in terms of the diagnostics and supporting the client. It's probably the most critical component of what we do. In terms of protocols down at the field level, we're using the standard S7 driver into the WinCC OA servers in each one of these shafts. The reason for that is that's the SIL approved protocol, and therefore we must use that in order to meet the SIL certification. We have an interface to another Siemens system, which is the site-wide SCADA system that uses standard OPC UA. And so really the 3 main protocols. To the PLCs using standard S7, OPC UA for non-critical interfaces, but for a critical signaling interface from the main RCC WinCC OA servers. That's a dedicated protocol that we developed, and we worked with Siemens Mobility on to create the protocol that was validated, as I mentioned, by the safety engineer. In terms of performance, it's done the job for us. Its distribution, its performance as a distributed product, its performance as a SIL approved product up to SIL 3, we've used SIL 2, its performance in terms of its ability to support our developers. These have all been really strong features of the product. Things like the graphical development environment was absolutely critical to us when we had the customer. Basically, we were prototyping with the customer. So one thing about safety systems, customers have to be involved in creating the user interface. They are. That's the performance of the Siemens product. We were able to prototype it, go through many prototype iterations, and with the features inside WinCC OA, create really meaningful prototypes. And indeed, we've gone on to create a training simulator. So performance, yeah, spot on. I think from our perspective, it's extremely flexible in terms of the architecture and the way in which we can build the systems. Every client has a slightly different requirement. When you're in the safety world and the high availability world, being able to create different architectures that still meet that safety and still meet that availability is a really powerful capability. The other thing is communications, communication links, standard links, ability to write our own drivers in APIs. That's really where it's at. And I think we're a software company, and we're dealing with a truly software product, and that's actually been a huge strength for us because we've been able to modify it and develop it as we needed for our own customers, and that's pretty powerful. In a few words, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. I think when we chose the product, first of all, it was, I think I've said almost like a no-brainer because of its 61508 capability. That was an absolute requirement for us. We wouldn't have met the client requirements. But once you'd chosen the product, I think it's really why do we keep choosing it and why do we keep using it and why we've developed now many customers with it. It's because of the relationship with Siemens, with the ETM team. ETM are software engineers, so are we. And to be honest, there isn't much between us in terms of administration and sort of blockages that let us talk to their software engineers. It's not always easy conversations, but hey, if the ideal level of contention is not zero, if you want to deliver something that's really good and something that's perfect for the client, if you cut me in half, it probably says Siemens in the middle of me. I've been doing this for so long now. But as much as we've delivered sales for Siemens, Siemens have delivered support for us. And this has always been a win-win. I've never seen Siemens as a supplier per se. We're in a teaming relationship. And sometimes we're all in the poo together, and sometimes we all succeed together. But it's important that we're together. So, yeah. We've really appreciated our relationship with the ETM team, and long may it last.